Rangers are in the Europa League final. Rangers, who 9 years ago, today, were playing at home to Berwick Rangers in the Scottish 3rd Division, the Scottish Iron Brew 3rd Division, are now in a Europa League final. After knocking out Borussia Dortmund along the way. I don't know how to react to this. Like, last night was ridiculous. Like, imagine choosing to watch West Ham versus Frankfurt over Rangers Dortmund. Like, they were both on at the same time. Time of her is a bit of a mess today. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This might be possibly the greatest Rangers match I've ever watched. Like the atmosphere. Like, imagine being RB Leipzig. Like, RB Leipzig won the first leg 1-0, right? But for most of the match, they didn't, like, they had possession, but they didn't really create anything for most of the match in the first leg. Like, they scored a wonder strike in the 85th minute, but that was about it. I mean, that team is 5th in the German league, and they're playing against a team from Scotland, and they couldn't create anything. I mean, the Rangers' defence was phenomenal that night. I mean, Goldson, Tavernier. I mean, Tavernier is always phenomenal. Like, what? Like, you tell me, when's the last time James Tavernier had a bad match? When's the last time he had a bad match? Honestly, like, seriously, you tell me. I haven't a clue. But yeah, and then RB Leipzig. Imagine winning the first leg 1-0. Hang on, glasses are a bit. Excuse me a minute. Like, as I was saying, I had to clean my glasses outside, but as I was saying, you tell me, when is the last time James Tavernier had a bad match? Like, the guy's phenomenal. Like, they signed him in 2015 for £250,000 from a Newcastle team that went on to get relegated the year they sold him. I'd imagine Newcastle are kicking themselves in the ass over that now, honestly. Imagine selling a Europa League finalist right back for £200,000. Like, the man has scored 80 goals, and people are going to say, oh, he plays in the Scottish League. I don't care if he plays in the Scottish League, right? 80 goals for a right back? 80 goals and 106 assists. He's a right back from Newcastle for £250,000. Signed in the Championship. And he's in a Europa League final 7 years later. Utterly ridiculous. And John Lundstrom. Just John Lundstrom. I mean, the song says it all. Like, the John... I'm wearing my 2020-21 Champions t-shirt here. You see that? 55. Champions 2021. The finals in Seville, of all places, which Scottish football fans will remember, is in 2003, the final was in Seville. And that's where Celtic were in the final, which they lost. Not trying to jinx anything, I'm just saying Celtic lost in Seville in 2003. If Rangers go to Seville, like, I mean, Celtic took like 100,000 fans to Seville. That was 100,000. Rangers, practically half the population of Scotland was probably in Manchester. I don't know. Literally, like, if you went to Manchester in May 2008, all you saw was just Rangers fans. Everywhere. Literally, like, the entire place was just packed with Rangers fans in 2008. We all remember that. I mean, I remember Novo scoring the winning penalty against Fiorentina. The small pocket of Rangers fans in that ground that night went absolutely mental. I mean, Stephen Whittaker scoring that wonder goal against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. Just ridiculous. Like, the win over Dortmund was ridiculous. Mainly because, like, who saw that coming? Like, who saw that coming? Who saw Rangers beating Borussia Dortmund? Second in the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund played Rangers and got absolutely tanked in their own stadium. Granted, they actually had COVID rules then, but seriously, who saw Borussia Dortmund getting tanked by a team who were in the Championship 5 years ago? Like, you tell a Dortmund fan 6 years ago that Rangers, who were in the Championship, would rise up and knock them out of the Europa League one day, they would probably laugh at you. But no, it happened. And James Tavernier is the top scorer in the Europa League. Again, he's a right back. I don't know. This is probably my greatest ever European moment as a Rangers fan. I mean, Manchester was great. Braga 2 years ago was amazing. The 3-2 at Ibrox, obviously. We beat Braga again in the quarterfinals. That was ridiculous. Remember, 1 minute into the match, literally 1 minute, James Tavernier scored. 1 minute and 9 seconds into the match. Like, this is phenomenal. Like 5 minutes into the quarterfinal second leg against Braga, Rangers had scored twice. Yes, one of them got disallowed, but that's what Ibrox does. That's the atmosphere. Like 5 minutes in, Rangers were 2-0 up. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They were 2-0 up. How ridiculous is that? And it's the noise. It's the atmosphere. Like imagine RB Leipzig coming to Ibrox. Like you would if you go into if you're sitting in the dressing room and you hear that, you're probably going to be terrified for the next half hour. I mean, Dortmund went to Ibrox and drew 2-2. I mean, they're probably used to the atmosphere because, they play in Germany, where probably some of the best atmospheres are. I mean, Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, I think, had a good atmosphere when we played them in the Champions League, years ago. But yeah, Tavernier's second goal, the place went nuts when Tavernier scored. Even the commentators couldn't handle themselves. And McCoist, when Roof scored against Braga, McCoist's celebration, how can you not like Ali McCoist? Like, the guy ran over and hugged the cameraman for no reason other than he was excited. Like, Rangers had just scored, he wanted to hug someone, and why he didn't just turn around and hug Kenny Miller, I don't know. So, yeah, and also, beating Celtic in the Scottish Cup, denying Celtic the treble. Doesn't get any better than that. Even if we don't win that Scottish Cup, at least Celtic didn't win it. At least that's something we can all say. Finally, for once, Celtic are not going to win the Scottish Cup. Finally. After 2 years, 5 years? Hang on. I mean, I can't even, I had to pause there. I can't even remember what I was talking about now. I'm just going to get my PSP out here. But yeah, seriously, the Dortmund match was ridiculous. Braga, I think that was probably one of the weaker performances. Well, the first leg anyway. We were okay the first leg. We defended well. It's just we didn't really do much going forward. I mean, we defended well, and then, I think that's probably why Rangers have done so well in Europe, because they're always playing the first legs away from home. It's always away from home in the first leg. Away leg, went to Dortmund, won 4-2, came back, drew 2-2. Braga went to their place in the quarterfinals, lost 1-0, came back to Ibrox, Rangers absolutely tanked them. Literally, Rangers could have won that 5-0. 5-0 in normal time alone. Rangers had 3 goals disallowed. The Roof won in the first 5 minutes, which I think is probably one of the worst handball decisions I've ever seen. Aaron Ramsey's one, and then I can't remember the other one, was it? Also, Morelos had one disallowed against Dortmund, which was, again, awful. But yeah, enough about VAR. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. I don't know. No idea. If you think back to this in 10 years from now, what are you going to remember? Celtic winning the league, or Rangers getting to the European final? What's going to pop into your head more? Or Rangers knocking Celtic out of the Scottish Cup semi-finals? I watched that at my mate's house with a load of other mates. When the winner went in, when the own goal went in, everybody went nuts. We all went nuts. Absolutely ridiculous. Who would have thought after we lost the first 2 group games and drew our third one that we'd be in the final? The final. I don't know. I'm speechless. Don't know. No idea. Have I ever made a video like this? Ever? Also, LFC Gamer, if you're watching this, I'd love to maybe see a video from you, see your reaction to it. Maybe your reaction to Rangers getting to the Europa League final. Like, this is ridiculous. And just quickly, I'm just going to touch on the Champions League semi-finals because I need to talk about this. Real Madrid and Man City might be the most chaotic ending to a match I've ever seen. Ever. Like, I was watching it up for like 69 minutes. Up until City scored, I don't remember a single thing. Up until City scored, pretty much nothing had happened. Then Mahrez scored, and I thought, that might be it. And then Grealish ran through. He had beat the keeper. The ball was going in, and then a defender hits it off the line. Right off the line. And then a minute later, they go up the field and score. And I'm thinking, hang on, there's a bit of a chance here. But still, City could probably still go. I'm getting spit all over the PSP. Even then, I was like, you know what? City might still hold on. And then they scored again a minute later, and I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, Thogdom was there. Like, again, as I said, with Rangers, imagine being at that match. Imagine being there. Like, imagine going to a European semi-final. Like, there was Real Madrid fans that left in the 88th minute. Imagine leaving in the 88th minute, and 5 minutes later you realise your team has scored twice to take it the extra time, and then won. Yeah, that's Real Madrid, Man City. Absolutely ridiculous match. Like they hadn't had a shot on target all match, and the only 2 shots on target they had in the 90, and the only 2 shots on target they had the whole match, both of them went in, both in the 90th minute. How ridiculous is that? Like only football does this stuff, and maybe hockey, and the NBA. Anyway, and yeah, Liverpool and Villarreal at half time at 2-0. I thought, I was a bit scared, but I thought Liverpool regroup. Like, the goals Villarreal scored were decent goals. They were good, and Liverpool were terrible in the first half. But I thought, if Liverpool just regroup in the second half, we'll be just regroup at half time, come out for the second half. I was thinking, if Liverpool get the next goal, it's done. Like, if Liverpool get the next goal, it is done. Plain and simple. Like, if you're playing Liverpool, you have to play well. Like, for the whole match. You can't just play well for one half and then think, oh well, that's us done. No. If you switch off for a second, Liverpool could hit you like that. Like that. I'm doing that because I can't click my fingers. So yeah, but Liverpool could literally knock you out like that. Like 5 seconds. Like, if you lose the ball against Liverpool, 5 seconds later you could concede a goal. That's how quick Liverpool are on the counter attack. And yeah, like, Villarreal's keeper was terrible as well. Like, just, I don't know. And then, like Villarreal's keeper was terrible. The first one, the first one went through his legs. The second one was headed straight at him and he somehow went in. It somehow went in, rather. And then the third one, he charges halfway out of his own half, and then Mane skins him. He's near the halfway line, and he thinks, like, he's in his goal, and he thinks, yeah, I'll just charge out. There's a defender covering this, but I'll just charge out of my goal for absolutely no reason, and concede a goal, thus making me look like an absolute buffoon. Yeah, Villarreal's keeper probably cost him that whole match. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go and play. Well, I mean, what else would I be playing other than Tomb Raider Anniversary? This is really fun on the PSP, by the way. So yeah, guys, anyway, that's that. I'm gonna go and celebrate Rangers winning, and yeah, it's Fanta, by the way. Anyway, see you next time. Ha ha ha.